This is what you see from where they are going. They know that they are unpopular. Because if they were popular, if they are confident of the 2023 election vote, they would simply welcome more opportunities to prove their popularity, to deliver to the people. They are claiming that they are delivering whatsoever, which was on a manifesto they never had. And even this thing about amending the constitution, it was not on their manifesto. It wasn't on their manifesto. We had the 2013 constitution, which is supposed to be implemented, not mutilated. That constitution, they hadn't even reached, 3 quarters, let alone maybe even 50% of fully ensuring that Zimbabwe is now properly a constitutional democracy. We have many things, including the Independent Complaints Commission, which is not yet even functional. There are many things which were supposed to be to be effected within the constitution to ensure that Zimbabwe is gravitating more towards
Sorry,
constitutionalism.
3 more minutes to go.
All right, so my last words in these last 3 minutes are that 7 years is too long, and as Zimbabweans, we must understand that 7 years a kid can be born um, in 7 years, and get to 7 years, and then from 7 years they can go from grade 1 to 7. That's a second term. Their life has been destroyed by one president in 14 years. Or if a kid starts grade 1 to 7, that's one term. When they go from form 1 to form 6, that's the second term. Their life is destroyed. Why? Because the record of ZANU-PF is not that one which we can say it's admirable. The corruption, go to school, check. They're even looting money for BEAM that is meant to pay fees for the vulnerable. They are looting everything. We see they're buying assets of prestige, buying cars, splashing hundreds of thousands to people. Yet, if you check this money, if it were channel towards things like education, like healthcare, um, people, it would save lives. But they're giving people, and they appear like they're, so popular. But if you check the people that they're giving this money, is the Japresas of this world, Japresas mother, and Japresas friends. You see that it's less than 1% of the, it's less than 0.001% of the people who are benefiting from these things. So they are aware that whatever they're doing, they're trying to appear like they are popular, but they know they are not. And Zimbabweans, we must also think and act with our realities. If they are speaking of 7 years, it's 7 years of potholed roads, it's 7 years of joblessness, it's 7 years of exorbitant tuition fees, it's 7 years of hospitals that don't have basic paracetamols, it's 7 years of waking up without hope, hopelessness, it's 7 years of water that is poorly treated, where you'll be, if you boil it to have froth, develop froth like that. It's 7 years of people just wishing to get out of the country as soon as they get the opportunity, the next opportunity. It's 7 years of over 5 million, around 5 million Zimbabweans exiled. They don't like to get out there as political and economic refugees. It's tough. Life is best back home. And it's 7 years of people like political prisoners like Masbaba Shantuko right now languishing in prison. It's 7 years of people go to prisons right now, you will find that the majority of the population in prisons, 80%, are young people, 35 years and below. And if you check their crimes, yes, they are criminals who don't condone criminality, but they are mostly crimes of the economy: fraud, robbery, unlawful entry, armed robbery, and all these things. But yet, if you go and ask those young people what they wanted to be when they grow up, they'll tell you most of them, some wanted to be teachers, and indeed they became teachers, but it's not paying them to do some side hustle, got into criminality. Others wanted to be soldiers. Yes, they became soldiers, but then they couldn't get a living out of that. Some of them resorted to criminality, and others
Uh,
didn't even manage to get those opportunities. So
Thank you so much.
Welcome to Zim One, a platform where every voice matters and every idea counts. This is a space dedicated to nation building, shaped by the thoughts, hopes, and lived experiences of the people of Zimbabwe. From the streets to the classrooms, from farms to factories, from elders to the youth, we bring together brilliant points from different gatherings of citizens across our nation. These are conversations rooted in reality, driven by patriotism, and guided by the belief that Zimbabwe's future is built by its people. Here, we listen, we reflect, and we share ideas that inspire unity, progress, and sustainable development. This channel is not about politics alone. It is about solutions. Not about division, but about collective responsibility. Join us as Zimbabweans from all walks of life contribute insights that strengthen our communities, uplift our nation, and shape the Zimbabwe we all want to see. This is our voice. This is our vision. This is nation building together.
Really amazing as a young person to take part in such key discussions that are affecting our country and our governance structures. Well, starting off with the issue of the first clause, as you aforementioned, it is true that Zimbabwe was fought for by our fellow comrades in the liberation war for the right to vote, as some would term universal suffrage. And at the heart of constitutional democracy is the principle of citizen sovereignty, the idea that power ultimately comes from the people. As my former speaker, Lenmo, rightfully said, that the preamble of the Constitution of Zimbabwe actually starts by saying, "We the people." So we, the people of Zimbabwe, in 2013 rather, we sat down and we agreed that these are the terms and conditions that we want to be bound by. For any person in the country of Zimbabwe who has got power, it originates from the Constitution. As we rightfully say in law, any law that is ultra virus, that is not inconsistent with the Constitution, is null and void. So then now when we go back to the critical foundation of how the Constitution belongs to the people, hence why these amendments want to be made, because no one can occupy a position of power without deriving it from the Constitution. Now, going on a legal standpoint, any change that affects how leaders are selected must be carefully evaluated by the citizens to ensure that it maintains the spirit of democratic participation, accountability, and transparency. Now, regarding the issue of the term extension from 5 to 7 years, I've heard some arguments whereby they're offering that it ensures stability and continuity, which is fair arguments. But however, let's look at it from, is that what majority of the citizens want? Most of the contemporary discussions are talking about a referendum, which is key. For the 2013 constitution came through different consultations with the citizens of the country to voice out their opinions. And right now, as it stands, I was recently listening to TikTok video that was made by a prolific youth leader named Toby and Speaker of Nations, where he said, currently, as it stands in Zimbabwe, we have got two particular key voices that are being heard, particularly on streets such as Twitter and the general discussions. Firstly, we've got the ones that are for the bill, right? Those are saying that the bill is okay, there's nothing wrong with the bill. And then the people who are against the bill. But what we're lacking also is the voices of the youth, right? What is the implication of that? The youth are mostly concerned about their day-to-day butter issues that are not yet being addressed, even with the current constitution. So what then does it mean when we now want to remove away power of the youth to vote, when already with the constitution in its existence, its enforceability is already being questioned on a day-to-day basis? As with you, we lead, we've been lobbying for a youth bill. So now when we're still lobbying for a youth bill, that's when you want to take away further our right as the young demographic of the future of Zimbabwe to vote. I personally, in my own opinion, I don't think that actually does make sense. As furthermore, the key issue, really, some are looking at it from saying, oh, it's just a matter of extension from 5 years to 7 years. But well, what are the implications on that? Why we cannot continuously be giving structures and structures that already do not work for the benefit of young people, to give them more power. If the issues of the youth were being addressed to a greater extent, right, then maybe we would be in agreement. But the day-to-day battle, like Lendmore rightfully said, youth in Lotito and Gokwe somewhere there, they are still walking to school. They are still suffering with day-to-day. Unemployment is rising. Drug and substance abuse is rising. So then why then should we give power to parliamentarians who are equally failing to do their day-to-day jobs? How then do we trust them with the power to then elect someone with so much powers already? Now, one of the key discussions that I've been listening is a matter of us comparing ourselves to countries such as Britain. But if we're to look into the implications on that, it does not make sense, for we cannot compare Zimbabwe and Britain, for they have tried and tested their democracy for so many years. Zimbabwe is literally just 46 years as of this year. So in my own personal perspective, as the youth voice that's coming through with the third voice that's not really being known, already as young people, we have got key issues that need to be addressed. And the least of worries that we should be worried about as a country is taking away our right to vote, particularly 6 million registered voters on Zimbabwe. And if we are to change such a key critical function of the constitution, I believe each and every person, particularly young people who are going to suffer from the ramifications of this enactment, should have a say. And hence my plea is, furthermore, having a referendum so that we ensure that the youth, which constitute a majority in the country, have got a say in terms of this amendment. Yes, that's my take on the term extension.